This week's exchange is one I had on TikTok the night before Elimination Chamber, and I thought you guys might enjoy kind of taking a look at it, and I'll expand on my explanation. But here's what the video that it stems from. They're not about building Tiffany Stratton right now. They're about building her championship reign and creating a sympathetic character so that when she does fall, we fall in love with her, and we build up that emotion to want to see her win a big match. Like, they're going to Canada. Trish Stratus is Canada. It guarantees babyface energy, and it immediately is going to make Tiffany Stratton likable. We've seen that in the last couple of weeks, right? And then here is the interaction with the IWC member, right? He says, Tiffy is not a face. She is not great on the mic. I say, she is 100% a babyface, teaming up with Trish Stratus in Canada. He goes on to say, nothing about her says babyface. Yeah, they want her to be a face, but she's not pulling it off good. I mean, that's a direct contradiction to what you just said, but okay, sure, I'll let you go there. I say, you can't just sample the IWC. So many people love the movie Clueless. She appeals to a female fan base. I promise they see her as a babyface. And I'm referring to the fans here. So I understand. I understand that this conversation happened pre-Elimination Chamber and that not everybody is as clued in as I am on the mentality of what WWE is doing. Not everybody's as in tune to the idea that Tiffy was being turned babyface yet, but the writing was on the wall for anybody who was paying attention. Charlotte is the heel. She's got heel energy. She's got heel heat. It's her natural space. So in turn, Tiffany Stratton has to be the babyface, right? Storytelling 101, guys. It's good versus evil. And I know every time I say this, every time I say storytelling 101, it's good versus evil. Every time I say that, the IWC likes to pretend that wrestling can function in this gray area that has no defined roles. But that's just incorrect. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've taken storytelling classes. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I have an honorary certificate from the esteemed Pixar storytelling online course. There is a reason that Disney movies have villains. They evoke emotions. There is a reason that all Marvel movies have an overarching villain. They evoke emotion. They make you sympathetic to the protagonist. There is a reason that all of those artsy bullshit movies that try to blur the lines on who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, they do terrible in the box office. They don't appeal to the fans, but they get all the awards. And you know why? Because in Hollywood, the awards are the equivalent to the IWC praise. They're complete bullshit. So Charlotte being heel means Tiffany Stratton has to be the babyface. And they added Trish Stratus to secure and make sure that everything went to plan. What's wild to me is the idea that Tiffy can't be babyface, that she's not good enough. Like, they dropped the spoiled gimmick months ago. She hasn't been playing the NXT gimmick in a long time. She's been running more of a Share from Clueless gimmick for the last few months. So I don't know what the IWC thinks. Sometimes I think the IWC thinks that all of wrestling, every match, every story, every feud is booked for the 30 to 40-year-old male single demographic. And I just think that Tiffany Stratton hits a very different demo than what the IWC is used to. It's a lot like why the IWC doesn't understand Bianca Belair, in that Tiffany can be a role model for younger women. She's an ex-gymnast turned WWE champion. It's a feel-good story. Someone who didn't grow up necessarily a wrestling fan was able to find success in pro wrestling. We all know right now that Tiffy can play the bratty heel, but you don't get it twisted. She is a great candidate to be a strong babyface character in WWE. She gets the pop. And I know a lot of people say, well, yeah, but you can take the pop as a heel. You really can't. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're a heel that's taking the pop, then you're really putting a stress on the babyface in the story. And while it may seem cool to the internet, it's extremely hard to tell a story where the bad guy is the favored person. So it's always easiest just to transition somebody who is getting pop to be the baby face. And don't get it twisted, right? Tiffany is the all-American beautiful blonde, right? Guys take notice of her. Women, they like her. Like, I'm still under the belief that if she loses at WrestleMania, it's to become a sympathetic chasing baby face. It worked for Bianca Belair, guys. It worked for Cody Rhodes. It's worked for Jey Uso. You don't break the formula if it's working. You know, and so for Flamingo here to say that she's not good on the mic, what are you comparing her to? Like, what is the metric for being good on the mic in the women's division? She's still extremely green. She's still very early on in her career. We watched Liv Morgan go through some of these same growing pains. Now, I think that she's already leaps and bounds better than Liv Morgan was in her first title reign, but I don't know what you expect. I don't expect this to be a real long championship run. I expect that she drops the title at WrestleMania, and then she has 365 days to figure it out, get it all together, and come back and have that sympathy going into WrestleMania 42. But Tiffany holds her own in promos. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't watched a promo where I said, oh, Tiffy's bad. And I'm critical about people on promos because I think that's the most important thing. I give a lot of people a pass on the X's and O's in the ring that I will not give them when they pick up a microphone. But the reality is, to stick with the theme of A and B side of feuds, she's the B side of the story with Charlotte, and Charlotte's going to do most of the heavy lifting on the way to WrestleMania. So I'm not sure what you're comparing her to as far as talent goes. Yeah, she's not on the level of Becky Lynch, but I don't think we expect her to be. That's no different than having to admit that Gunther isn't on the level of a CM Punk or a Cody Rhodes. It doesn't disqualify him from being a champion. It's just an admission that certain people need more time to establish who they are and figure out how to work a microphone. Tiffany will come to be a fan favorite. I promise you. Even in the run up to WrestleMania, the crowd will get behind her. They will become sympathetic. And in post-WrestleMania, if she wins, I think she comes out of there looking extremely strong. But if she loses, the crowd will get behind her and they will be sympathetic towards Tiffany Stratton.
Head down, we're ready to rumble. The casual pod don't stumble.